Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago to our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Nicola Barreto. Let's take a look at the headlines. The Prime Minister reminds parliamentarians that they should always be conscious of the importance of their role. Consultations are being held by the San Fernando City Council on plans to construct a boardwalk in San Fernando. And Tertiary Education and Science Training Minister says government committed to broadening Trinidad and Tobago's cooperation with countries that are in the same sector, as well as enhancing its new partnerships. Thank you for joining us. House Speaker Wade Mark and Senate President Timothy Hamel-Smith hosted parliamentarians at the 50th anniversary of Independence Ball. The gala event was held at the ballroom of the Trinidad Hilton and Conference Center.
Prime Minister, the Honorable Kamala Persad-Bissessar, stole the show at the ball not only with her stunning gown, but with her words of praise for former Prime Ministers and parliamentarians. Prime Minister Persad-Bissessar says the nation is lucky to have had unique and inspiring personalities as Prime Ministers. She commends all of their contributions and says they all served the country well as heads of government, executing their roles to the best of their ability. Mrs. Persad-Bissessar says from the days of Eric Williams to now, the nation has seen a lot and should celebrate all that we have been through and are yet still to experience.
I am sure that you all agree we have come a great distance in 50 years. Through adversity and high points, through defeats and victories, and through sadness and happiness, our Parliament, our government, and our people now signal that our nation has stood the test of time. This is a time for us to pay tribute to our history, to give thanks for where we are, and to share in our very profound hopes for a future of continued peace, stability, and prosperity.
The Prime Minister took the time to remind parliamentarians that they should always be conscious of the importance of their role. She insists that it's a serious responsibility with serious implications in the upholding of freedom and democracy.
As we commemorate the resilience and the strength of our parliamentary democracy this evening, and as we recall the past struggles and share our hopes for the future, let us all keep central in our minds the very serious responsibility placed on all of us. History has shown that our parliamentary democracy can be only as strong as the vigor with which we defend and uphold its very proud traditions. In just moments, such time-honored traditions can disappear if we fail in our duty to uphold, protect, and defend the principles and practice of freedom, democracy, and justice.
Gregory McBurney, News 4.
Consultations are being held by the San Fernando City Council on plans to construct a boardwalk in San Fernando. Stakeholders have been invited to give their views on what can be done to make the boardwalk unique and a representation of the city.
San Fernando Mayor, His Worship Dr. Navi Muradali, says he is committed to ensuring that the boardwalk project planned for the San Fernando waterfront will begin within the next 4 months. He disclosed this as he held a workshop at San Fernando City Hall to discuss the boardwalk, which is just part of the proposed San Fernando waterfront development project. Dr. Muradali says the workshop should ensure that the public is briefed on plans surrounding the project.
I have made a commitment that the boardwalk project will commence before the end of this year. And in saying that, I decided that I needed to ensure that members of the public were briefed on what we intend to do and also to share our vision. This is a shared vision in moving forward with the boardwalk project.
Persons were given the opportunity to express what elements they would like to see on the boardwalk and also what can be done in the immediate future to beautify the waterfront. Out of the discussions, the City Council will then decide the way forward for the boardwalk and the entire San Fernando waterfront development project. Meanwhile, in the wake of the Diego Martin floods, Dr. Muradali also gives his commitment that all is being done to ensure the city of San Fernando does not meet the same fate in the event of heavy rains. His Worship says if disaster does strike, though, the San Fernando Disaster Management Unit has ensured the city is ready to face it.
We are also working in conjunction with URP and CPEP to try to clear all of the water courses. You have seen that there's been an exercise in San Fernando where we've been trying to get rid of the overgrown vacant lots by asking the owners to take responsibility. That has been a very successful initiative, and we are also working with all of the other stakeholders to get the city clean. Now, we have the San Fernando Disaster Management Unit. They have been doing tremendous work in coming up with plans and programs in case of a flooding or a disaster in the city of San Fernando. They have stockpiled the 2 containers in Skinner Park with emergency supplies, and we have been working with the ODPM in that regard. But San Fernando is prepared for a disaster.
Gregory McBurney, News 4.
News 4 continues after the break. Stay with us.
There's a spark of greatness in each of us. That spark is called personality. Individual gifts and talents provide the fuel to set that spark ablaze. Each child has the right to an education which values their personality and nurtures their talents, while teaching them to be respectful to their parents and their cultures.
We are reporting from communities across the country. People are calling Nallis Libraries their library. Tell me, why is Nallis your library?
My library is where I can have fun learning.
My library is helping me earn better grades with online research resources.
My library is my gateway to the world of information.
My library is providing access to the differently abled. As a visually impaired person, I can envision limitless possibilities.
My library is making my world truly worldwide with free internet access.
My library is helping me keep an eye on my health with access to the virtual health library via the Nallis website.
Nallis is my library.
Welcome back. Tertiary Education and Science Training Minister, Senator the Honorable Fazal Karim, says government is committed to broadening and deepening Trinidad and Tobago's cooperation with countries that are in the same sector, as well as enhancing its new partnerships by exploring all avenues of bilateral agreements. This comes as Trinidad and Tobago welcomes 70 Nigerian trainees to engage their minds and challenge themselves at the NESC Drilling School in St. Madeleine.
The recently established drilling school in St. Madeleine is expected to operate at a revenue stream of $140,000 for a new cohort of 70 trainees spanning a 6-month period. This from Tertiary Education and Science Training Minister, Senator the Honorable Fazal Karim, who says through the partnership with Nigeria, there are tremendous benefits to the sharing of ideas in sport, music and the arts. By fostering partnerships at the economic, social, cultural and educational levels, Minister Karim says both countries will be better prepared to survive and flourish in the globalized era. He also shared some important facts on the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which he says has been a key player in the international oil industry for quite some time.
Nigeria is the most populous country in Africa. Nigeria is the 7th most populous country in the world. Nigeria is ranked 31 in the world in terms of GDP per capita. Its oil reserves have brought great revenues to the country. It is listed among the next 11 economies in the world. According to Citigroup, Nigeria will get the highest average GDP growth in the world between 2010 and 2050, it is forecast. Nigeria is one of the 2 countries from Africa amongst the 11 global growth generator countries in the world.
Minister Karim says the aim of the NESC is to produce higher-level technicians, and they require specific training. As such, he reveals that work is scheduled to begin on a $4 million multi-purpose hall of residence for the Nigerian students.
We expect as well to construct a 46 standard room, double occupancy, fully air-conditioned dormitory for you, where there will be 6 deluxe rooms. You will have your own community kitchen, your laundry room, your gym, your reception lobby area, cable entertainment area, internet Wi-Fi. And we hope while you are here, within the next 6 months, to start that construction, reach a fairway, and if not, complete before you graduate. We expect work will start on this on October 31st this year, 2012, at a cost of $4 million. And we give our full support to the NESC and to you to make you more comfortable on these premises.
Meanwhile, Nigerian High Commissioner His Excellency Musa John Jen says the healthy relations shared between both countries will be greatly beneficial, especially in light of Nigeria's high rank among the oil-producing nations of the world.
Better days ahead of Trinidad and Tobago are coming, especially with the partnership that is being formed, a relationship that is being strengthened and deepened with Nigeria. Nigeria is the 6th largest oil producer in the world, and I believe that the partnership between Nigeria and Trinidad will go a long way in ensuring the economic success, the well-being, and the mutual benefits to the countries that I've already mentioned.
Veena Bharath, News 4.
Persons from the Eastern community of Sangre Grande are the most recent graduates of the Ministry of Community Development's Community Education Skills Development Program. The program was held under the theme Skills Training, a Way to Economic Independence. The program is designed to address the domestic needs of householders by equipping them with skills to enable them to engage in home-based production of goods and services. It is hoped this will in turn reduce household expenditure and allow for the more effective use of financial resources. The graduation ceremony for the most recent graduates was held at the Northeastern College in Sangre Grande. Director of Community Development, Ms. Susan Corbett, is urging men to come out and take part in the program. She says most of the participants are women, but men need to realize it's more about learning and developing oneself above everything.
Over 75% of our graduates are women, and we do not have any cutoff age, any cutoff race, creed, or anything. We usually invite all to participate in our program. So we must commend the women who are coming out and continue to learn in this program, because it's about learning, it's about developing.
The graduates had to complete 60 contact hours in basic training of their chosen skill over a 6-month period. The ministry offered 48 different skill areas for persons to choose from, 40 vocational skills and 8 handicraft special skills. The skills taught range from food preservation, cake making and wine making to masonry, plumbing, boat building and even events management. It is estimated that the Ministry of Community Development has invested almost $500,000 in what is hoped will be a program which will save families throughout the nation much more. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Honoring and respecting the elderly begins with you and me. And in the event of a disaster, your support before, during, and after will be critical to their well-being. Build a support team where each member will have a specific task. Your team must include someone who is within easy reach of the elderly person. Make an evacuation plan and practice your plan. Stock up on special caregiving items such as incontinence items, cleaning and sanitizing supplies. Have on hand a minimum of 2 weeks supply of all essential medications. In the event of a disaster, accessing medication may become difficult. Keep testing and insulin supplies and do not require refrigeration for diabetics. Secure all medical supplies in a clean, waterproof, easy-to-carry container. Keep a list of medication, caregiving instruction, doctors' names, and contact information. In case an elderly person is relocated to a shelter, this information is vital to their continued care. Dehydration is a serious health problem for older adults. Store at least 1 gallon per person per day. Store at least 3 days' worth. Consider special dietary needs when stocking up on food supplies. Safeguard important documents and provide an ID bracelet or necklace to persons with special needs, such as persons with Alzheimer's disease. Remember, disaster readiness and preparedness begins with you and me.
A message from the Ministry of National Security, Office of Disaster Preparedness and Management.
Welcome back. TT Pro League team Caledonia AIA will make its home debut in the CONCACAF Champions League when they face CD Marathon of Honduras at the Ato Boldon Stadium in Cuba. The Morval Laventille team suffered a disappointing loss in their first outing away to Seattle Sounders, and coach Jamal Shabazz is planning for a reverse of fortunes on home soil. Wayne Cunningham has more.
Caledonia AIA's debut in the CONCACAF Champions League was less than auspicious, with a 3-1 defeat to the Seattle Sounders in Washington. Now they face CD Marathon of Honduras on Wednesday at the Ato Boldon Stadium in Cuba and look for redemption. We spoke to owner, head coach and technical director of Caledonia, Jamal Shabazz, and here is what he had to say about that game on Wednesday.
Well, every game brings its own realities, its own situation, its own tactical approach and everything. This Honduras team, CD Marathon, is a Latin American team. They like to play possession, they like to play short, clever players, different from the more robust approach of Seattle. I think we want to try to win the ball higher upfield. A mistake that we made against Seattle, we dropped off too early. So in this game we play at home and we try to win the ball higher upfield, make the pressure, you know, in their half of the field and see how it works in the first half.
Two key players for Caledonia AIA, Radanfa Abubakar and Nuru Abdullah Muhammad, will have to step up if the team from Morval Laventille are to come away with points in this match. And Shabazz is confident the big defenders will be ready.
They've worked hard. They've been fasting, you know, both Radanfa and Nuru are Muslims and they've been training very hard in the Ramadan with Abdullah Phillips. We have several Muslim players on the team, and the Ramadan did take its toll on them with the fasting. Now the fasting is over. I think they'll be more energized, and I think they're injury-free right now, and they're very, very motivated. So, you know, I expect really good things of them.
The coach has a solid plan going into the encounter.
I think that playing at home, we're not going to focus too much on what they're going to do, but battle in the early stages with them to see who can establish control of the game and who can try to impose their style and their philosophy on the game. And I think this is the most important battle for us going into this game. If we can try to reproduce, you know, some of our training routines in the match situation, it's going to be difficult for them. Of course, you know, being a high-level opponent is always going to be a difficult game for us. But this is the level that we've qualified to play in, and we're happy with these type of contests.
Shabazz felt obligated to put participation in the Champions League into perspective.
It's important for the general public to understand that W Connection, Caledonia and Puerto Rico Islanders represent not just Trinidad and Tobago, Puerto Rico, but we represent the Caribbean, because we are the teams that have come out of the Caribbean zone. This is the next stage of World Cup, because World Cup is countries. This is the qualifier for the World Cup of clubs, and CONCACAF, as Europe and UEFA has their Champions League, CONCACAF have their Champions League, and I think the type of interest the public puts, you know, in Barca and Real and Chelsea, I think, you know, the time has come for us to see this is the Champions League of CONCACAF, and we have teams, you know, we have local teams, and we've got to place that type of emphasis and interest to build our industry, to build our football industry, to build our sporting industry, to build our support base.
The coach is his usual confident self ahead of the clash.
But of course, you know, this ain't over because we lose one game. The fat lady ain't sing yet, you know, and with all this obesity in the place, it have a lot of fat ladies to sing. So it ain't over yet for us. We lose the first game and we are CD Marathon, and we look with hope and confidence, you know.
Wayne Cunningham, News 4 Sports.
News 4 continues after the break.
Never leave items like MP3 players, portable DVD players, laptops and briefcases on view inside your vehicle. It is an open invitation for a thief. Don't leave them on show. If you cannot take them with you, place them in the trunk of your car. Remember, crime prevention is everyone's business. A message from the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service.
Thank you for staying with us. More of our Laventille youths from the ages of 7 to 17, with a few younger ones, were privy to a 5-week musical camp where they learned to play a number of musical instruments, including the national steel instrument. The program, Positive Adolescent Network Camp, was as a result of a joint initiative between the National Security Ministry and BP Renegades.
Listening to these budding musicians here, one would not think that they learned how to play in just under 5 weeks. They are the products of the Positive Adolescent Network Camp, a joint initiative put on by the National Security Ministry and BP Renegades, which aims at fostering community life and educating youths. Youngsters from Morval, Laventille and environs participated in the camp were privy to not only learn how to play musical instruments, but how to read and write music. Administrator for the project, Helen Adams, says the program saw all participants learn to play the national instrument, the steel pan.
Sessions were scheduled so that each student gained hands-on experience with each instrument. Thereafter, they were given the opportunity to select their instrument of choice. Theory and sight reading were a focal point in this camp. Also, all students had to play the steel pan. There were a number of students who came into this camp with no music background, and we are pleased to say that the objective of this program was met, and this is evident by our presentation today.
Project manager for the program and representative from the National Security Ministry, Beverly Chase, says the ministry was proud to be part of such an initiative as it kept true community life alive.
The Ministry of National Security saw this fit to be something that could really and truly instill within the young persons a certain type of discipline and character that could deter them from actually doing things that were wrong. And you know, we do have a lot of problems in this society today. And what better way than to partner with the community? Because as we always say, this program is not about the Ministry of National Security, really. It's about the community. And it's supposed to be owned by the community. It is owned by renegades. It is owned by the parents. It is owned by each and every member of the community.
Ms. Chase, in relating messages from Line Minister Jack Warner, sought to highlight the importance such programs had in reducing crime at the community level.
Some persons have wondered whether the program will continue, and I have to tell you that it is up to the community for this program to continue. You have to be the inspiration for this program to continue, and I'm sure that what you saw here today would more or less inspire you for this program to continue. We have seen children as small as 4 years old coming into this program, and you see what can be done. And we have to ensure that it continues as a community, as a people, and as a government throughout. The crime problem is not a government problem, but is the entire nation's problem. And something like this, with all of us putting our hands together, will really and truly encourage the young person to keep on that right path.
The proud little tykes received certificates showing what they had learned over their vacation period. President of BP Renegades, Michael Marcano, says it's the aim of the band to establish more permanent structures for the teaching of music literacy in not only steel pan but various instruments.
Taking our talent and making a career out of it for some of our young people. So we were talking about creating young musicians. So in order to do that, we thought that we had to do it the right way, so that we made music literacy part of our junior band project. And then as time went along, we decided that we wanted to take it one step further and to create a music academy so that we can teach our young people not just to play pan, not just to read and write music, but also to play various instruments. However, playing the pan was compulsory. You had to learn to play the pan.
And I don't know what makes she get so wild. I don't know. Every single day.
Kimberly Ramkalawan, News 4.
Well, that's how we wrap up this edition of our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Nicola Barreto. Thank you for joining us.